we do. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another episode of The Rundown, a show where we break down film and TV with you guys in the chat live. So if you're watching and if you feel like it, hop in, throw your opinion, join the chat, join the Legion, join the Legends. What's up, Anthony? What's going on?
Hi, man. I'm doing pretty well. Of course, we have a guest, so I'm very glad that we have a guest.
Yes, we do.
It's been kind of a stale week figure-wise, which is also good for a change, to be honest.
Yeah, you know what? I actually agree.
Yeah.
I'm loving it when I see things that come out. I'm like, good. I don't feel like I want to get that one. I need to slow myself down. So completely agree. Yes, we do have a guest. Well, let's not make her wait any longer. Let's not make everybody in the chat wait till they know, because they know she's coming on to talk about Captain Marvel. We have Helen, the Sixthscaleshero herself. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the chat. Are you ready?
Hello. Long time listener, first time caller. I'm excited to get a jersey and talk about Captain Marvel.
We need to send her a jacket. I need to find another jacket. I need another two. I need DS too. Jeez, you'll come after me if I don't get him one. I think that's what we're going to do now. We're going to make jackets for everybody. Anthony's going to fund it. Fantastic.
You got a jacket.
Sponsored by Anthony's Toy Shop.
And his 86 pre-orders.
I think you're being kind there. I think that's a little low, Helen. I think you need to go up. I don't even think he knows. I'm going to say 150. Anyway, we are here.
I was close.
We are here. What are you sending me? That's okay. All right, everybody. We are here to break down Miss Marvel. The Marvels. Man, I keep messing up the name all week. I've been saying that. I mean, Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel. Apologize in advance, everybody. The Marvels. If you've seen the thumbnail, you know what we're doing. So we're going to break down the Marvels, give our thoughts and opinions, and that's why we thought we'd bring you in, Helen, because we know that you are a massive Captain Marvel fan. You've got her right there. You've kit bashed many versions of her, which is awesome. I love that. So we really want to get your opinion and see what you thought coming in, because I know if it was a Tony Stark movie or something like, or an Iron Man, I would be particularly biased. So I want to get your opinion as a hardcore fan, what you thought. And the way we're going to do the show is a little bit different, because often our fantastic producer got us many great images, and I wasn't quite sure how to put them in order. So we're just going to bring up some pictures that'll bring up talking points, and we're going to cover basically what we thought from the film, give our ratings first, and kind of break down why we got there, how we got there. I think it would be a bit different today, how we go about it. So if you're down for that, join the chat as well with your ratings once we kick into it. But you good for that, Anthony? You good for that, Helen? You guys ready?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Let's do it. Well, do you think we should kick off with Helen first, Anthony? Or actually, do you think we should check in with the chat, maybe? Maybe we should check in with the chat. Sorry, I'm forgetting things. I apologize, guys. You know how I do. Bob Dylan's in the house. Good to see you here, Bob.
Yo, come.
Higher, further, faster. I saw his post this morning.
If you say Carol Danvers 3 times, Bob Dylan will appear. It's true.
Interesting. Okay, I want to. Okay. Well, Bob, you better be thrown in, and you better be challenging some of our thoughts and opinions. Butch is in the house. Look at the new avatar. I love that.
Not at work.
I love that. He's not at work today. Well, did daylight savings mess you up last week, Butch? Did we ask? I can't remember. Lukagi's in the house. Decided to watch this yesterday, and it's not a flirkin' bad movie. The price of movie tickets and popcorn is a flirkin' ridiculous, though. Yes. I got a frozen Coke, and it was like $50. I can't remember. It was quite a lot.
What do you want, Often? What are you smoking?
Often is all in on this movie, and I feel like he might get upset with me today. Shit.
You're going to make Often cry, I think.
I think I'm going to make Often cry. I don't know. That's what we're here. We're here to figure it out. I want to understand. Slushies all around. Perfect. If Anthony give it more than 3, I'll dye my hair. Well, yeah, we're going to start with ratings first. So I think maybe Anthony should do his rating first when we get there.
Yeah, so for me, it's at least a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Well, it's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Francisco, and that's very interesting what you said there. I want to break that down. Francisco's in the house. What's up, Francisco, brother? Thanks for being here, mate. Andre's in the house. Thank you, sir, for being here.
Hello.
Positive
Nice
comment,
comment, guy.
guys, back in here.
Positive comment, guy. Yeah, it's better.
You made Helen wake up at your ungodly hour. Yes.
Thanks, Helen.
No days off.
All
Need
the
a
coffee
jacket.
in my Captain Marvel mug. I don't know if you can see that. Very
Nice.
strong coffee.
Okay, so I think we're all caught up. Holy moly, I guess I'm going blonde.
I guess you are.
Damn, shit, it's already over. Go dye your hair, Doug. Boom, you looking for this?
Looking for
Classic.
this.
All right, everyone's here, and everybody else, welcome to the chat. Thanks for being here. So I want to kick it off with our ratings. I'm just going to bring up the first image too. So Anthony's given it a 4. Helen, what are you throwing in? Let's throw in what your rating would be.
Yeah, I had it at 4. If I was
Mhm.
going out of 10, I probably would have said 4.5. Do you just
Out of
want
5,
rating
you
or
mean?
do you want why?
No, because that's what we'll break down as the show goes on.
Okay.
So we'll start there, and then we'll go into kind of how we got there.
Yeah,
And how
so
we
four
like
out of
judging
5 for me as well.
Nice.
What did you say? If you had it out of 10, you would have said 4.5?
I would have said 8.5.
Ah,
8.5. I think,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
8.5. Yeah.
So 4.25.
Oh, yeah.
Did you change yours to 4? Okay. For me, I've reflected a lot on it. I'm probably going to say a 3.5, guys, and I know that's pretty low for me, but I am going to explain how I got there and how I think it could have been a 5 out of 5 if certain things happened. And I want to break that down too, because I think I'm using expectations here, and I'm trying to understand why I felt like that when I watched it. So I want to get into that at some point. So that's our ratings, guys. Why don't you guys throw your ratings in there as well in the chat, and we'll get kicking into it. So I guess overall, going off your rating, Anthony, to kick it off, how did you said for what they were going for? What is it that you think that they were going for with the film?
Yeah, maybe you can go do the movie first, and then
Okay.
we'll mention what we think they were going for. But to make it short, I just enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
And for me, especially Iman Vellani, was like a star in the movie. I really loved like her, just a Miss Marvel, bubbly type feeling.
Yeah, she's fantastic in it.
Yeah.
I think I got a picture here. My pictures are all over the place, guys, but obviously it picks up right from Miss Marvel. Yeah, I think it was a fun movie. Like, we laughed quite a lot. I thought the comedy was really good in a lot of the spaces. Some of it a little thought was a little strange, but majority of it though I thought was on point, especially Miss Marvel. She was fantastic. I even thought Monica Rambeau had some funny moments too, and I thought she did a good job of like portraying the comedy aspect of it as well, especially some bits with Nick Fury when they were together. I thought were pretty cool. I thought they were really good. Yeah, I was surprised by her, but definitely Miss Marvel. She reminds me of a Tom Holland in Spider-Man, that young, like when they're first in it, just meant for that role, I think, because I think Tom Holland's meant for that role. I think she,
Which is funny because they both really were a fanboy and fangirl of Marvel, right? So it really fits her character.
Yeah, she's such a fanboy, and then to meet her, and that's an aspect of the film that they touch on a little bit of her, her meeting a hero. But Helen, what do you like? You said it was as fun as well. Is that the vibe you felt from it? Like, when you came out, like, your overall feeling, was it like that was a fun ride? I love the story. What was it for you?
I think it ticked a lot of boxes for me, and I did. Like you guys mentioned, I kind of like that juxtaposition of Ms. Marvel being that quite young, and I think still quite idealistic as to what a superhero is compared to Carol and Monica. They've been around the block, and particularly you see that scene with the ship and the Kree, and Kamala's very much like, we've got to save them all, and Carol's like, well, no, we kind of have to save who we can. So I think it's quite interesting because there's so many I think layers to this story, even though I think it is a bit of a lighter tone, which I did like. I was probably surprised at how much I laughed in the cinema at this movie. I thought it had some great comedy. I thought Kamala's family in particular were just gold in this. They provided some really great comic relief, but I liked the pace. I liked the fact that it wasn't like a 2.5 hour movie. I feel like the story, I thought it did everything it needed to do without being over the top with, we're having a 45-minute battle scene. So I walked out of it really happy. And to be honest, my emotion when I walked out was that I think it's a good movie, but I feel like people are not going to give it a chance because maybe they didn't like Captain Marvel in the first movie. I know a lot of people thought she's very stoic. Some people don't like Brie Larson, but I thought this movie did a really great job of, I think, trying to show that human side of Carol. Like we see those moments with, I'm calling it the memory machine, the thing she's putting on her head. And you see that she still is trying to grapple with who was she and what was this life that she had. So I feel like, I think I've said this before, if people are willing to go in with an open mind, I think you might be pleasantly surprised at how enjoyable the movie is.
Interesting. Yeah. Hearing you mention those bits helps me think about the things that I liked from the film and things that I don't know why my expectations went there, things that I thought it could have done more. Because I would actually say that I don't think they gave her enough time, and I feel like they completely depowered her overall in the fighting, needing two other people to help her beat this villain who we don't even know why she's so strong. Things like that. But we'll get into it. But I feel like I wanted more from her. And I would actually say, you know what I'm like? I would have liked more time around them building their character and them getting to know each other. I feel like that bit just felt a little bit short. Am I wrong on that? Anthony, did you feel like there was a lot of time given to them, like, to build on their relationships? And I know I'm probably sounding very negative right now, but I will get to why I felt like I was missing some of that. Because in the film, I feel like when I was watching it, I'm like, well, I want to see more about a particular thing. But do you think I'm way off on that, Anthony?
Well, I don't know if you're way off on you wanted to see this particular thing, but what did you specifically want to see? Because I didn't miss anything, to be honest.
Look, I might as well kick into it because I'm not making any sense. I guess I feel like my biggest gripe, I think, is I feel like it's been edited down a lot. I feel like they filmed a lot of stuff that didn't get put in, and maybe that's why it's shorter. I have no reason to believe that that's true, but I felt like they didn't give enough time to the characters to build a relationship. Like for me, I guess, they touch on Carol being an annihilator. When we were watching it, I thought that was hilarious that they would call her Annihilator, and like the look she had. Actually loved how they did it. I don't know if I loved that when they saw that. I thought that was great. However, I would have loved to see Miss Marvel, maybe meet her hero. And because, like you said, Helen, when she said we can't save everybody, I kind of feel like, but Cap would never do that. Cap would never say that. Like, I feel like, why are you saying that? Like, you're just letting people die. These are gripes I had, and maybe I'm just overthinking things. But I'm like, but why would you? Why wouldn't you? You could fly there real quick and save them, right? Like, I don't know. That didn't make sense to me. They made her do it twice, like on the water Earth. You're married to this guy. You have a relationship there. The Earth's getting destroyed. You don't even think about going back to save them. Like, they're just completely forgotten about. So those things were like throwing me off when I was watching it, because I'm like, these are meant to be big events, big catastrophic events leading to this woman coming to take our son. But we're just like, we're not resolving those issues. Am I like, do you get what I'm saying with that? Like, do you think did I miss something there? Did I miss something there though? But I'm like, when have we ever seen Cap not go back and save people? I don't know.
That's Cap, and that's why I kind of not like Cap.
How dare you?
Boy Scout. He doesn't make the hard decisions. That's not realistic. And I like the fact that this movie shows where Carol has been. The show is all about, well, if we dive into that, it's all about her leaving Monica because she had stuff to do. And before we just knew she had stuff to do, and now we just knew why she felt guilty, and where she's been. She didn't want to be with Prince Jan, so it kind of seemed like it had a function to her at that time, and that's why they married. But it's not that she's in love with the guy, or that she's actually thinking of him as husband material. She was kind of reluctant to go back there. And I like the fact that I like the fact that we see where she's been, so her past. I like the fact that we've seen a lot of Miss Marvel. We didn't see a lot of Monica, but I'm kind of guessing that we'll see a lot of Monica in future movies, with her becoming Spectrum and doing the rest, because then she'll probably be the most powerful Marvel character up to that point.
I'll click on some more pictures. Helen, do you want to chime in on this? Because I kind of went on a rampage. I'm not articulating myself the way I want to.
This is Spider-Man meme. I love this book. Helen, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they showed us the building of the team, and maybe it was a little bit montagey, but I you know, when they were all hooked up to the memory machine, and I kind of liked the way they did that, in that it was also filling in those gaps to Carol's story. Like, we see the fact that, yes, she has spent some time with Maria. We see the fact, as I said before, that she's still trying to come to grips with who she is. And they did have that montage of them swapping out each other's powers, where they're trying to balance different items. So I thought they ticked that box. I don't really know that needed to be longer than what it was. I think maybe the one little bit is I guess the fallout of that was, it did feel like Monica went quite quickly from I'm angry at you to I forgive you. And I don't know if it's the fact that she now sees that, you know, Carol was with her mum, and there was that discussion of, you know, when Monica comes back and who's going to be here for them. So maybe that was enough to have that forgiveness. So I guess maybe if there was like a scene between those two where they maybe had that hug it out moment, maybe that might have been a little bit different. But I feel like, again, as I said, I liked the runtime to this. Could it have been longer? Yeah, I would have been happy with that. But I feel like so many movies default to 2.5 hours when they don't need to be. So something that's a bit quicker, I don't really have a problem with. As I say, I feel like they ticked those boxes with those scenes that we had. So I was pretty happy with how they came together.
Yeah, maybe go to chat after this, but why I really liked this kind of training montage is that it really makes a lot of sense that you would use like any opportunity to see how the switching works between the three of you, and to harmonize that as much as possible. So I like the fact that they spent a lot of time on that, and I think in general what the movie did was solve a lot of plot holes that we as the viewers would have with just a little question or a scene. So it doesn't raise any questions anymore. I think it did that very smartly.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I do get that. I guess when you said, for Helen, if I touch on a point you said, like, I guess, like, Monica did forgive her really quickly, right? I kind of feel like, and this kind of, I'm going to expand a little bit on why I got to this point with them. To me, it felt like the film was almost about, they tried to make it about two things. Like, you have this villain who I didn't feel like there was enough time or motive invested in, because I felt like maybe the story could be focusing on their relationship. Like, I felt when watching, I'm like, I would have loved to have seen this woman's getting called Annihilator for destroying their planet. Imagine if Miss Marvel met a hero and realized she wasn't as much of a hero as she thought at first, but then she gets to know her and then they build a relationship and she sees that you have to make hard decisions and all those types of things. I feel like that would have been a great arc for, imagine, a big fan meeting the hero and having to learn these hard truths about what it's like to be a hero. That would have been
Can I ask
epic.
you a question?
Yes.
Legitimately.
Yes.
I say this as a female in collecting and seeing the sentiment of MCU. Do you think male collectors want to see a movie about women forming a relationship? Genuine question, because I don't care about that. Yeah. People angrier, more woke Marvel, MCU. I hate when I see MCU. Like, that's going to take it from like 100 to 1 million. We've made a movie about 3 women forming a relationship. my
That's
God,
what I
I would
wanted.
just like
Helen,
burn
that's
my
what I
Facebook
wanted.
profile to the ground. No.
That's what I wanted, though. That's what I wanted.
We'll
Because
call John the
then
outlier.
then you have, because wouldn't the conflict of to me, the conflict would have been epic about Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel trying to deal with this situation. Maybe that's why you don't invest as much time in the villain, because the main thing to resolve is her relationships with both these two people at the same time whilst trying to save the world. And I feel like if they, I don't know, I was missing that between them. I just thought like that would have been a really cool angle. And yeah, collectors probably would have had a cry, but I would have loved it. I would have loved if they went deeper into that. And I get it. It's Marvel, they're action movies, and they've done it with many other things. They did it to Iron Man 2 when they made, Whiplash a secondary villain by not investing in the time in building his character. So I get it. But I don't know. I felt like I was missing that. Let's catch up on the chat, see what they're saying, because God knows how far behind I am.
Let's go.
We'll see. So I'm up to here. Andre says, wow, I can't believe my ears. John starting his villain arc. But yes, but not in the way that you think, though. Well, he wasn't resurrected, bro. You can't give it 5 out of 5. Okay, so... Oh, and I missed often saying, what? Yeah. And yeah, Butch. Okay, see, we're an hour behind. Thank you, Butch. Oh my God, I've waited. I wanted all my life for this moment.
John.
No, you know what? For me, I feel like it's because I watched it the day after watching Loki, and I was all into the vibe of what that was, and I think that maybe threw me off what I was expecting to see.
Maybe because I was thinking really about that. Maybe we've done a bit too many series where you have like 6 hours time to delve into characters and relationships. Yeah,
that could be it. That could be it, because I'm coming off Loki, watching this massive arc, and what a fantastic way they did that. I'm coming in expecting, all right, she's the Annihilator. Oh, Miss Marvel's going to see that a hero is not such a hero. Oh, what an interesting relationship. And Monica Rambeau's upset her as well. She's got and I just feel like they just kind of touched on it and then skipped over it to get to the next action sequence. And I just didn't.
Skipped over your feelings.
They skipped over what I thought over something that makes the best movies the best movies, when you're invested in the characters. And this, I felt like Captain Marvel wasn't the main character. She was, for me, I love the first film. I love her. Like we rate Captain Marvel 1. We love that movie. I wanted to see more for her. Unfortunately, I guess it's a bit hard with these other characters in as well. Anyway, so Bob says the Floken fiasco was a bit much, but it fits the movie. Yeah, look, that didn't bother me as much. That was funny. I thought
I liked it.
That was pretty funny. Blink twice if the ISP agent is threatening you.
Blink twice.
Oh shit. I've got to clip Helen's part though. That's so classic about collectors. What a burn. I should have played the burn music. I wanted more from episode 5 of Blink. I'll often go to your room. Episode 5 was fantastic. I guess that's why Cap is worthy.
Cap is worthy. Yeah.
You let so many people die. That disappointment look Helen is giving John right now. I'm so sorry. It's familiar to me. I almost went to check if I'd forgotten to do the dishes for the trash out. Oh shit! Mate, I know that look.
Woke up at 5:30 a.m., John.
No, there are things I love, and we'll get to that. What's that? Oh yeah,
often even said trash.
Yeah, it was really satisfying seeing the flashback of her destroying the Supreme Intelligence. Yeah, I got a picture of that. That looked cool. I wanted that scene in the first movie. And Logan, you could use that memory thing. That hurts. But I'll forget about it in 5 minutes. I'm going to use your argument. The movie is called The Marvels, not Darben. Oh, yeah, see, but I couldn't she was that unmemorable. I couldn't even remember her name. Cancel John.
Yeah. Tom Wilson's wife.
Yeah. Eddie Rodriguez, what's up? Thank you for being here. Hello. I haven't seen you in the chat before, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Maybe you I think
Alex Fighter.
Yeah, so we're in the Collectors United stream with with Joao and Christian, and it's almost becoming a meme. Joao saying Jesus.
Yeah.
I was thinking, Jesus, John.
Jesus. Yes. This is interesting from Francisco. Often wants to take me back to school. I'm sorry, Often. It could have been cool to have Kamala's ideals of being a hero clash more with Carol's idea. More since we barely know why Kamala has Carol as a favorite. Look, and I think my opinion is just coming from, again, that's why I said at the start, my expectation of what I felt like I wanted. I don't know why I was feeling that in the movie, but that's just how I felt. You guys know what I'm like. I love everything. I love everything, and we loved it. We had fun. But for some reason, I kept thinking I wanted to see more of.
Yeah, you
I just
might
felt
be
like
right,
that
though.
conflict
You
would have
might
been
be
better.
right.
And I just thought the villain. It felt like they were doing two movies, and then they got edited to. Someone's edited it, and we may have, we've lost these moments between these three characters. These three were more interesting to me. I could have had the movie just been Carol trying to win them over, or, build the relationship with them in that sense. That would have been, I felt like, epic. But then you've got this secondary villain. We don't even know why she's strong. What
Yeah,
she's got a
so
thing. Like, what's up with that? Like,
we do know why she has. I thought her motivation was good, but I think why this movie wasn't a 5 out of 5 for me and a 4 out of 5, I just had to subtract 1 point for the villain because I really didn't like her as the villain.
what did you think, Helen, about the villain? Because we've got to know what you think about it.
Again, I guess I'm kind of thinking it's like an hour 45 movie, like how much can you develop? But by the same token, what I would have really liked is I think if there was a connection to Darben in the first movie, like perhaps if she'd been part of like Yon Rog's squad and we'd maybe seen her in that first movie, so that was that continuation. Because for me at first I was like, did I miss her in the Solo movie? Is this a character that I've totally blanked on? Because I guess there is that other female in his squad that like Carol has a bit of dialogue in that first movie. And I think perhaps if that was Darben, there would have been that connection if they had a history. That character had already said they didn't really like Carol. And then that whole Annihilator component would have kind of added to that dislike. So I guess at first I was a bit like, oh, what's the problem? But then I guess when you understand, no, she has gone back to the Kree planet. She's, fulfilled her promise that she's going to destroy the Supreme Intelligence. The world is dying. I think maybe if that part of the story, and I get they're building up to why she's the Annihilator, but I think perhaps if you had a bit more of that at the start, perhaps maybe we would have understood the
100%.
Villain's motivation a bit more, because it felt like a bit
100%.
of a late reveal. So when we got that, I kind of thought, okay, I get what you're doing, but I think that's the one thing I would have liked. Like perhaps if we'd seen her in that Solo movie, there would have been that continuation to understand why she was so worked up. She'd been this like Kree warrior. They're doing all this stuff and now their planet's dying and she's out for revenge. I think that might have been a nice way to do it without having to commit a big chunk of running time to that backstory.
To me,
I agree.
I agree. Yeah, so I really liked the build up to why she's called the Annihilator. At first, I just liked the fact that she was shouted, "Oh, it's the Annihilator!" That I just like that part. Because then in your mind you have this whole scene of her kicking ass and killing the Kree off, and then it just seems that it's just another reason, and that they're right calling her the Annihilator and wanted to get back at her. So I completely was in on the motivation of the villain. I just didn't like her physicality, and I didn't like the fact that she had Ronan's hammer. So we knew that Ronan's hammer, what it could do, and then she was without the hammer, and they never established her power level without the hammer. So they could have gone more into her having her make sense, or her power make sense, because she felt weak to me. She felt like a throwaway thing for me.
Yeah, she didn't. I think, and what both you guys said is right. Like, see, where I look at the Annihilator stuff, I feel like if they had done that stuff of her destroying their planet at the start of the film, like a Previously On or something, or like, and then that sets up. Then when we hear them call her Annihilator, it's not laughing that we're thinking. It's more like to them, she is that. Like we're taking that whole thing a different way, and we have then there's. And then if you added in the thing of Miss Marvel seeing her as not the hero that she thought she was, and then you add in all that other personal drama, and then you're seeing her get called Annihilator, I just feel like that would have been that's kind of what I felt like I wanted. I don't know why. That's just what I felt like I wanted. And I feel like they were doing that maybe it just got edited around, like, to review that at the end. It allowed it to be comedic, but I would have loved it if it wasn't the comedic part. If it was more, damn, like they see her as an annihilator, and that's why they're out for revenge. But for half the film, you don't know why the villain's really doing what they're doing.
Dude, I just like that. And to me, it felt kind of Thor Ragnarokish, humor-wise, and I loved it.
Yeah. Actually,
can I just say that's one of the critiques I don't understand. Like, some people critiquing the humor, and I'm going, but everybody loved Ragnarok. Everybody has loved Guardians of the Galaxy, which has been so quirky and really relied on that humor. I really don't understand why this movie's gotten hate for that lighter tone. As I say, I really liked it because I just thought it made it really enjoyable watch. I think it didn't take itself too seriously in some parts, but someone made the comment in the chat about it would have been good to have seen her destroy the artificial intelligence at the end of the Solo movie. And now I'm thinking about that on reflection. I think that might have been cool if that was the post-credit scene. And I understand we're in the throes of Endgame. It was never going to be that. But maybe that would have been a great thing to have had that clip to see she's gone back, she's destroyed it, and maybe you're starting to see those first effects of what happens when the artificial intelligence has been destroyed. Like, maybe that would have been a nicer segue into this movie.
Yeah. I think, yeah. No, you go, Anthony. I just agree with what Helen said. That was right.
Concerning the humor, it is a fine line, though, humor, right? And it's specific for everyone. So if you don't like the humor, that's completely fine. Because I can imagine people not liking the humor because it makes the movie a bit silly. And for me, it's silly in a good way. So for me, it's like Thor Ragnarokish. But I can imagine for some people, it could be like Love and Thunder Thor kind of silly. And that was over the top, right? And I can also imagine if you've seen if you read the comics, and then you hear the movie titled The Marvels, you're thinking, oh man, we're going to get the quantum bands, we're going to get quasar, we're going to get binary and spectrum, and it's going all out. And it doesn't. It just becomes a comedy. So expectation also plays a really big role into how you'll rate this movie. And I think for comic book fans, this movie will rate lower than non-comic book fans.
Yeah, actually, good, interesting point. Because it is getting good ratings, and like this moment here, I actually love. We laughed our ass off at this moment. She was she is just born for that role. She is adorable in that role. Absolutely love her. And like you said before, Helen, it's her and her family.
It's not even acting.
Everything about I want another season 2 of Miss Marvel just to see the family dynamic. I just can't get enough of those guys. They're fantastic all throughout it, and I'm glad that they found a way to bring them in. That I was happy with, like, get them involved in the action in the end too, and be a part of the story more so than just at the start. So I'm glad that they found a way to bring them in, and I wonder if that's because they're just so damn lovable that you just have to find a way to bring them into the show. I don't know.
It's interesting because of me, I find it so relatable. My parents were both born and raised in Greece, so like first generation Australian, and you have that culture clash. So even though, they're from a different part of the world, I feel so much of the synergy of particularly what we see with like the mum and Kamala. I'm like, oh my God, this is my life. And it's kind of a funny way because you're like, oh, it's not just you. But I love them. And I just think they provided so many great comedic moments in this movie. Yeah. I really was happy we got them. And I'd love a Ms. Marvel too. I just, if people haven't given that a chance, I think it was just a really enjoyable story. So, I loved it.
I wonder what it would have been like for people who hadn't watched Ms. Marvel seeing the film. Like, that would have been interesting to see what people thought.
You know what? I actually thought, at the start of the movie, I thought they did a really great job of bringing us up to speed to where everyone is from. Like, I love that they did that animated sequence to explain Kamala's story. So, because I did wonder that, because I feel like with some of these MCU movies, because there is so much storytelling across Disney Plus in the movie, sometimes I don't feel like you can jump in. Like with Multiverse of Madness, I felt like if you hadn't seen WandaVision, you'd be like, oh, what's happened to Wanda? But with this, I thought they did a really great job of catching us up. So I feel like you could walk into this without necessarily having seen Ms. Marvel or WandaVision, because I thought, and I guess this is where maybe it's a bit hard to then show the destruction of the artificial intelligence, because I feel like they're already trying to do a lot at the start where they're trying to catch you up with 3 characters to then bring in the villain's motivation. Maybe that just would have been too much to handle at the start of a movie.
And look, and if we touch on that action sequence, like that action sequence at the start was pretty epic. I thought it was. It's almost like they had that action sequence planned from the finale of Miss Marvel. Like that was always going to be how they were going to do it. I feel like, because it throws you into the movie. Like it did a good job of throwing you into the movie. Like you're straight into the action pretty much after a brief intro, which I thought was done really well.
Touching upon what Helen says, I thought the movie did a great job on bringing you up to speed without having it feel for me like it was a waste of time, because it still felt rewarding if you have seen Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel. So I think that was a good balance.
Yeah, I think they did a good job there. Let's see what Often's saying.
We're not going to chat. We're going to see what Often's saying.
Yeah, he's got a few in a row there, so I'm just going to see what he's saying. Right. I think Carol, yes. So I think Carol's saying we can't save them all. Does that? Kamala doesn't look at it the same. And yes, I did notice that, and I thought that was good. I just wanted more of that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right in the fact, because they do it twice, like you said. So I think you're right that they initially had more scenes on Kamala being disappointed or being struck with reality and with hard choices.
Yeah. I feel like that got edited out. Gemma Chan, yeah, but she's an Eternal now. Goose should have been the villain. To some people, he was when he swallowed him. The movie does make Secret Invasion so much worse. Lol. I think Cap Marvel should have been in that show if this is what they were going to do. Well, I will say on that, for Nick Fury, now we got to figure out where this was in the timeline, but it didn't feel like he'd been through Secret Invasion at all. So I'm wondering if this is before then. But they were talking about peace talks at the start of the film, if you remember. And in Secret Invasion, they were talking about peace talks. So I'm trying to figure out, are these the peace talks
so I think
after he's gone back up?
I think it's after Secret Invasion. Because
I'll click on him. There we go.
I think otherwise they would have brought them back to Earth, maybe. I don't know. But I do know that in Secret Invasion, it was like the producer saying, you can do whatever you want, but Nick Fury has to end up back in the ship again.
That's generally how they do it.
Yeah.
That's generally how they do it.
And I say that I subtract 1 point out of 5 for the villain, but it's because of the villain and because of Nick Fury. Because Nick Fury, he's just like a shell of his former self now. Also in Secret Invasion for me, but here as well. So I really hope that he gets to be actual Nick Fury again, and not Grandpa. That would be cool.
I have to say that this part is probably one of my biggest gripes with the movie, is not understanding where it fits in with the timeline, because the release of this was pushed back. I think it was 12 months in the end. It was pushed back twice. So I didn't know, was it meant to be before, after Secret Invasion, in parallel with, because I guess, where Secret Invasion ends, like, if they're doing these peace talks, where's Nick's wife? Was she not coming with him to be part of those sort of negotiations? And then the Kree, the Skrulls are trying to then do stuff with but I'm going, I feel like I've missed a bit here. So I guess that was probably as far as like plot holes. And then again, it's like, well, if you're watching this independent to that, it's not really a plot hole. But if you're watching everything, you're trying to marry things up. I think if you weren't watching all the other Marvel stuff, that might not occur to you. But that was my biggest thing of what's happening. Where's Mrs. Nick? What's happening with these peace talks? Were they? Because then what's happening with the Earth Skrulls? Like, are they going to band up with these other Skrulls? Like, I thought most of them were on Earth. So I guess that was the confusing point and the bit that I went a bit, But then again, as I say, if you look at this movie on its own, maybe that's not such a big plot hole.
No, I don't think so. If you're looking at it on its own, I don't think that would bother you at all. I think you're right, though. I think it is meant to be before Secret Invasion, being that it did get pushed back because they rushed Ant-Man Quantumanium forward when pushing this back. So I feel like that area where the peace talks were happening, because I'm thinking in Secret Invasion, he talks about there are peace talks. But this could just have been a peace talk that, didn't work. There could be other peace talks all around, maybe. So maybe it's before then. I don't know. I would hope it's before Secret Invasion.
And I would like to think that this is his outfit that he has, like his normal, regular civilian outfit, or I mean his grandfather outfit. And later in Secret Invasion, latest episode, he changes into badass Nick Fury, right? That's like the idea.
Yeah.
But then he had his
that
eye
makes
patch,
sense.
though. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Miss Marvel's basically a Spider-Man story. Yeah. I'm going to catch up on the chats now here. Once I learned the first Avengers film is you have to take the movie show you're watching, not what you're expecting otherwise. Yeah, and normally I don't get upset with that stuff, but for some reason it got to me this time. They put so much previous along with the Miss Marvel and WandaVision, in my opinion. Do you remember? I don't remember that, but I'm sure they did. And to get you up to speed, yeah. Okay, so what's Lukagi saying? Why are hands
It is
so hard to draw? What's relatable? Yeah.
for the beginning. Miss Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. DS is in the house. What's going on? Yo, I've only seen 30 minutes of the movie so far, but it's not. Oh, God. So I'll finish it later tonight after the review. Oh, no. Helen, DS is coming in hot. To be fair, though, he does that with everything. Since I haven't seen the whole thing, I'll catch up on a rewatch.
There's also a thing that maybe it's different when you're watching it at home instead of like you're supposed to watch it. Maybe that also plays a factor. I don't know.
Secret Invasion was shot after Captain Marvel was supposed after Captain Marvel and was supposed to release first. Captain Marvel was supposed to release first. There you go. That makes a bit more sense. I feel better if this is before Secret Invasion. I feel better about where Nick Fury's at. Then I don't feel like that doesn't bother me as much. Then because if this was set after, then I'm like it's a bit strange. But if before, it makes sense. So I think that solves that. And I actually liked him. I know you say he's a shell of his former self, but I like the moments with him and the family. Like I don't mind him as the funny guy. He doesn't bother me like that. I don't need him to be anything else. I don't think so. I'm not too opposed to that.
Yeah, I need him to be Nick Fury.
I didn't say what happened to
it's good for a little while, but I just need him to be Nick Fury.
Yeah. They didn't say what happened to the Skrulls in Saber that we saw in Spider-Man Far From Home.
Didn't they just go to Earth again?
Well, in this, Valkyrie comes in. That was a pretty cool cameo. I didn't expect that.
No,
Valkyrie comes
Far From
in.
Home.
Oh. Saber.
I think those went to Earth, right? And divided between opposition and Tellus.
Yeah, maybe. Captain Marvel. DS says Captain Marvel was supposed to drop first, but because of reshoots, I don't know. I don't know about that, but I'll take your word for it. They give Skrulls guess. Yeah, so they're in Asgard now. That's interesting. How they tying her in. I will say this after Secret Invasion because in episode 2, Talos mentions a Skrull colony that didn't come to Earth when he called.
Yeah,
that's deep cuts.
But that's in the beginning, right? They said that I think it's Emperor Dorak that they were with, that clan.
Okay.
But it's been like 30 years, right? So we don't know. I don't know when Talos called them. I thought it was pretty in the beginning of those 30 years, not in the ending, right? So we still don't know why this is supposed to be, I think.
Yeah, okay. Where are my
shoes? Clapping. Let's get to work.
I feel so bad for Skrulls. Get these people a planet. Yeah, they're getting punished, right? Refugees of the MCU. They've obviously got a bigger role to play. So let's go. Well, I've got a few more images here. What did you guys think of the dance sequence? Helen, do you want to kick it off? What were you thinking of this whole sequence?
I thought it was hilarious. I didn't really know where this was going and how it was going to tie in. But I liked it. As I say, I like the fact that we saw more sides to Carol. Goofy Carol, I don't think is what anybody was expecting. And to me, this felt a bit like a Guardians of the Galaxy type scene as far as the comedy. You're not really expecting it, like, oh my God, like, is this really going to happen? I enjoyed it. I liked, even just Kamala and Monica's reaction to this. I think they kind of see a different side to Carol. And it's interesting, the fact that, there's still so much of her story that hasn't been explored in the MCU. Obviously, she's kind of set this up as it was a sort of political, marriage of convenience for different reasons. I liked it. As I say, this was one of the parts of the movies I wasn't expecting and just had a lot of laughs from.
Nice.
Yeah, me too.
Very colourful. Very colourful.
I think this shot is perfect for me to illustrate why I think that the comedic delivery was on point. As this scene, but also the flirting scene, I had like 2 seconds where I was, what the hell am I watching? And then it clicked, and then I was, I'm fine with this. And I just went with it. Because this, while it was a bit unnecessary, it kind of did two things. Firstly, it did show why Carol didn't want the others to know where she's been and what her history is. And secondly, it set up the joke of Prince Jan being bilingual, which is pretty funny, I thought.
Who is that guy too? Apparently he's famous. Is he pretty famous? I think he's a famous.
Probably. I don't know.
He's like a huge Korean actor.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Where are we here? So the memory thing. This was just a picture I had from before. So yeah, that was the way this to me was the back to tank.
So I wanted to say this like 50 minutes ago, but I think they did like the memory thing because Helen wouldn't understand what a back to tank is.
Yeah. It's basically going through memories like you're doing right now. Yeah, Star Wars' version of this. Star Wars version of doing exactly this. Dreaming your memories. It's just a MCU's way. So it's a way of.
It's like a MacGuffin of giving us flashbacks.
Yeah, it's a way of giving us a flashback. Yeah, you're right. But this was a good look. I thought this was cool because it gave us a call back to the first film and what they would do with her, like what they would do to her when they were either wiping her mind. Right. Where are we? Is any chats here that Bob Dylan saying even annihilators have to cut loose sometimes? He saw Carol is officially a Disney princess now. Yeah, they're going to bring that. Someone going to kit bash that outfit. I can see it. No announcements yet, which is a bit slow from old Hot Toys.
True.
Well, it's interesting because on Collectors Unite, Joelle was saying that the rumor is the next Artisan figure from Marvel is going to be Captain Marvel, which I was shocked at. I mean, delighted. Like, Bob and I were very happy. I'm not sure how many other people are wanting that, but it's interesting. Like, if they do it, because I think particularly with the hairstyle she has in this movie, if you're going to have it as rooted hair, I think it does need to be a bit better quality. But it will be interesting. I'm hoping that they do all three of them. Don't just do Artisan Carol and don't tackle Monica and Kamala, because I really wanted Kamala from the first, from the TV show, and I kind of figured that perhaps because the movie was in theory meant to come out quite soon after, that maybe they were going to wait to the movie because it would too sell. But man, I want all three of them. I really need them.
What do you think? If they do an Artisan, I think that would make sense. To me, it would make sense to make it an Artisan because you could experiment with doing the rooted hair. And I think that's probably something they're going to do with characters who have hair, right? That's why I thought John Wick would be an Artisan one. I thought that would have been a really good one for them to practice
and
doing rooted hair on.
When Joel told us that they were going to do an Artisan Carol Danvers, I was kind of thinking about the new suit we saw from her now. Or do you think we'll get the classic suit, Helen?
I like the first suit. I really like, and it's funny because when I first saw that at the end of Ms. Marvel, I didn't know what to think of it, but then we didn't see the full suit. But now that I've seen it, I just think the color is a lot more vibrant. It's a lot more interesting. I want that first suit. The second one, look, I'll probably still buy it if that's the one they make. But if you had to give me you can choose, I definitely like that first look. And she wore that suit for the majority of the movie, so I'm hoping that's the one.
I would laugh if they would do an Artisan Dancing Princess one.
God.
Patch with her prince.
Yeah.
He could use some nice rooted hair. He had some nice long hair.
True.
He did. He did. Often says, channel saying, it caught me off guard, but yeah, on board. It was like 3 minutes max. We need the Miss Marvel show suit. Yeah, that was a good. I liked that one. Missed the show. Young Avengers, yes. You'd look. Be interesting to see. I feel like they could do a good Miss Marvel. Come on, guys, give it a go. That scene I thought was epic. I think I'm back to this picture. Sorry.
I think they would struggle
what did you?
with Miss Marvel. I don't know why, but I think they would struggle.
Too young, you think?
I don't know. Yeah.
What did you actually? Before I get to this picture, we've only got a couple of pictures left. To be fair, I've been blitzing through them. Let's touch more on the villain and her. I had no idea she was Tom Hiddleston's wife until you guys told me, I think. Have we talked enough about her? Because we kind of touched on her already, but there's not really much else to say, really, is there? She didn't get. I feel like she lost to the editing floor. I feel like
I don't think she was lost to the editing floor. I just think she's not imposing enough as the villain.
Well, what did you guys think about when you were watching her fight? I don't really have many pictures of her. One picture's not loading of her fighting. Of course, it's the one of her fighting them. I've just got this one. But what did you think? Like, that's why I feel like they dampened Carol a bit, because I feel like Carol would couldn't she just easily take her out? I mean, she took Thanos out easily, and I'm like, what makes this villain so strong that you need 3 people with powers just to take her on? Is it the staff?
So it would make sense that she is second to Ronan, because Ronan was her predecessor, I guess. And I think Ronan would be stronger than her, and I think Carol would annihilate Ronan. So yeah, it doesn't make that much sense to me.
Because in her flashback, and maybe you'll pick this up today, Helen, does she mention that she was second to him, or is she just someone who survived the attack?
No, she just said my predecessor,
and she stood up.
She has his hammer.
Okay, so you think that means that she was his number 2?
I don't know. I don't think she was his number 2 because we would have seen it. But I'm just figuring that she's weaker than Ronan because he doesn't even have a nickname like Ronan has.
The Accuser. So, that's a badass name too. The Accuser.
And he looks so much more. It was Luke Goss, right? Ronan?
No, he was. No, not. He is Lee something.
Oh, okay.
Often, someone. Yeah, he's something Lee.
And he looked really imposing as a villain.
Yeah, he was good because he's a big guy too. It was like a ballet. Everyone was so synchronized. Oh, the fight sequences, Bob's saying. Yeah, so I thought the action was great. I thought the fight scenes were really good. Were you impressed with the fight scenes, Anthony? Because I know you're quite.
I'm not impressed, but I liked the fight scenes. It wasn't Guard of the Galaxy 3 kind of fight scenes, but I really liked it. And I like I said, I really liked the fact that they used every opportunity to do silly things, switching, because it made sense that they would be synchronized a lot more after that.
Lee Pace, yeah, that makes sense. Did you guys notice that, like, sometimes when they use their powers, they didn't switch, and then sometimes when they use their powers, they did switch? Like, I was struggling to see the differentiation.
Yeah, so for Miss Marvel, it was with the right arm they switched, and with the left they didn't switch. So I was fine with that because they practiced it that much with silly things like skipping and juggling and whatnot.
Yeah, okay. I didn't pick up on that it was when they used a different hand, because sometimes, like, Miss Marvel did this massive magic effect. I'm like, how come you didn't switch then? But if it was with a different arm, that makes sense. Yeah. I loved all Miss Marvel's action sequences. Helen, what did you think about the action throughout? I think you enjoyed it.
I liked it, and I guess that's the thing. Like, you're saying Carol's super powerful, couldn't she just take her out? But then you've got that switching component, and that's what was quite interesting when they're having that fight with Ben on the ship, and Carol's trying to get Kamala to kind of, you just wait in the ship. Because I think that's the thing, and I hadn't thought about that fact that, is it the arm with the bangle that when Kamala does something with that, they switch and then they don't? Because I guess we don't know Are there different things that Carol can do that maybe aren't using that sort of power force that's interconnected? Because I have noticed that it wasn't every single time that they switched. But yeah, I didn't really pick up on the line about Ronan being the predecessor. I missed that, to be honest, because I was like, oh, she's got that hammer, and it did feel like I don't really know what else she could do if she didn't have that. So yeah, maybe, as I say, maybe the villain wasn't this big imposing villain, but like I don't think everybody can sort of be Thanos. So there's going to be villains of different strengths and shapes and sizes. And as I said, I'm kind of okay with that because I feel like she's probably a bit more of a plot device than this big imposing villain. And I don't know how much we're going to see villains across multiple movies and TV shows anymore. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. And it was interesting to see that I think Kamala's, she's got moments where she's really great with the powers. There's a bit moments where she's still a little bit shaky with them, which I like because I think we have to remember in the context of this has happened straight after the Marvels. She's not a polished superhero that's been out on the streets and really faced a really big bad kind of a villain. She's still, got her learner plates on. And I think we see in this movie, she does develop a lot and I think learn a lot and it progresses her forward quite a bit. So I think we still see some, I guess, a little bit shaky moments from her, but I think that's to be expected because you think of the timeline when this movie comes about, she's maybe had these powers for like a few weeks, like not very long at all.
Yeah, I was okay with her having the shaky parts. I think that they did a good job of showing that. I feel like she was actually way more advanced than I thought. She's pretty damn good. It's more instinct, I feel like, for her, right? It seems like
I would have liked her to be more shaky, to be honest.
Yeah. Do you think it's her instincts that do it, and that's why? Like,
that was a bit for me. It was a bit overpowered. I would have liked her to take a bit more of a back seat and do more safe stuff, if that makes sense. Around that, I was fine with it. I just like her in the movie.
yeah. She can adjust her aura, wins you over no matter what. Francisco says the power of Da-Ben was the bangle being able to absorb energy, and that she was attacking places with innocent people.
Yeah. but so she absorbed the power, and they said that she was stronger because of it. That Carol's power was making her stronger, but they didn't show her. Show off her power without the hammer, and then all of a sudden she was without the hammer. So then it kind of felt that as a viewer you were kind of in limbo as to how powerful she was without the hammer and the bangle. So for me, they could have expanded a bit more on that part, just to show you what she can do.
And I think that kind of touches on Helen's point that she was more of a bit of a plot device to have them have something to go up against, for them to team up together to take them out. And that's why I think maybe we didn't see that as much. Because I feel like the original story is more focusing on the three women coming together, right? Is what I felt like.
Yeah, but at least make her a bit more imposing, because this was, like you said, a bit weird that you'd have to have three people going up against her. I would understand Miss Marvel not being able to go up against her, and maybe even Monica if she isn't
Monica Rambeau,
in her powers yet. But because they made like a little scene showing that Carol figured out that as long as she doesn't do it with the right hand, she's fine, not switching. That kind of,
I missed that completely.
Yeah, so that kind of makes it irrelevant that the other two are there.
Yeah.
That they need to be there.
Well, look, that clears up two of the gripes I had. The Nick Fury thing, if it's before Secret Invasion, that makes more sense now. And if they figure out that it's different hands, then that clears that up. Because that did bother me. I'm like, why do they switch sometimes and not other times? Like Miss Marvel's falling through the sky and she's using magic to hit those things, but doesn't switch, I think. But if it makes sense, if it's with the other arm.
So will you be reevaluating your score at all, or are you going to stay at 3.5?
Well,
he could do a 3.75 if you want.
Well, no, but look, I guess my thing that I had wrong with it. I loved the action. I thought the comedy was great. I didn't have an issue with the comedy. I thought the action was good. I like the three characters. I guess I just can't seem to get past the villain was if the villain's a plot piece to move the story along for them to have someone to go up against to come together. I felt like we lost a lot of them needing to have something to break them apart to bring them together, or something to some conflict to bring them together to fight as a team. I feel like if the villain's going to be secondary, then maybe give us more of how they get there to work together. But they get together, have a couple looks here and there of distaste, and then they're together and they're a team, and then they win. I just feel like if the villain's a plot device, give more time for them to have something to bring them together. I just can't get past that. I don't know why. I need to rewatch it again. I need to rewatch it, and maybe I won't.
Because what I was going to say is it not that situation with the Kree where they have to leave some people behind, and you see that, Kamala's having her view of what a hero is kind of be a little bit shattered, and I think reality bites for her. Mm-hmm. And then they come back to Carol's ship, and that's where you see, like, there's that tension between her and Monica. Kamala's feeling a little bit disenchanted, and then they hook up to the memory machine. They have their sort of bonding over the skipping and all the things that they're doing. Yeah. I feel like that scene does that.
Yeah, that's enough for me.
Yeah, see, and I think you're making great points. They do, and I think when I rewatch it, maybe I'll, knowing what happens, I'll be able to absorb that more. That those moments are them coming together, I guess. So yeah, I just think I need to rewatch it again to see what I think, because I couldn't get past that. Not to mention that dimension from Miss Marvel. I'm forgetting. Sorry, where were we there? Oh yes, Miss Marvel went to the dimension, right? They have to use it. They have to use it at the same time. Oh, okay. To not switch. When the company leaves, Kamala is in big trouble. What does that mean? We all know when company leaves.
So when the two guys are in the house, it doesn't matter what happens, but it's always going to be Kamala's fault.
The villain in the Marvels remind me of Ronan the Destroyer from the Guardians of the Galaxy. You are spot on, Butch.
It is. It's like the...
of course, wants her to be more shaky, and Sabine failed 9 more times. Yeah, that's definitely Anthony.
That's me.
Yeah. Just move the cuff an inch. Classic. That's from Ahsoka, Helen. So Anthony was,
I gathered,
furious that a character just got powers so quickly. See, you were so furious about Sabine getting the Force. Why are you not so furious about other characters getting the powers so quickly and just magically?
I am.
Oh, okay.
I'm always concerned with power levels. Like I said, with the film.
Yeah. Just forgot the movie midway through it. Get out. Oh, shit. Off topic. I really like Captain Marvel in Crocs look. I hope that's an option. If a choice releases a figure.
Bob Dylan's kit bashing that. He's almost there. Yeah, no, he shared a post today because bless him, he's like, oh, thanks for helping me. I'm like, I didn't help much. Because that look you see on the ship quite a bit where she's got the suit sort of half rolled down and she's wearing the Crocs. He's kit bashed that, and I think the Crocs are like the missing piece he needs to find. But he shared that on his Instagram and in Kit Bash Kitchen. It looks amazing.
I think the Bro Thor figure, the third-party Bro Thor figure, the first one they made had Crocs. They were green though.
Did it?
Crocs out
or blue, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah,
you could make it work, right? They might be a bit big, but. She could have big Crocs.
It's funny because when I saw those Crocs in the movie, I thought of Bob because I knew he wanted to kit bash that look, and I'm like, mate, good luck with that. I don't know how you're going to do it, but they're very psychedelic. But yeah, if some third party wants to do them, do an outfit set like we got Grunge Carol, I'm in for anything That's Carol cool. related.
What did you guys think of? I thought that was a cool shot there of her rising up, of her power abilities. So I don't really understand her powers as much. So Anthony, you probably know. Help me break it down more. She because she can have things go through her, right? Like vision. What's that called again? Do we know what that's called? Like the way?
Yeah, in vision it's phasing, but this is different. Monica Rambeau, if she gets to, because they were going about which name would be good. if she would go like photon or pulsar or spectrum, like she could manipulate like any form of energy. It doesn't matter which form of energy. It could be ultraviolet, it could be gamma, it could be electromagnetic. She could turn herself
Damn.
into electricity and just go right into Iron Man. She could extract gamma energy out of the Hulk. She could make herself invisible, make her look like other people. She could do literally anything across the universe. So that would be like so overpowered for the MCU. So we don't know what she's actually going to be like in the MCU. But so basically, once she understands what type of energy something is, she can manipulate it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And what did you guys think when watching it then, when she does what she does at the end of the film? I don't have a picture for it because the picture's not loading. How did you guys feel about that part? Like her being the one that makes the sacrifice. It's kind of making the sacrifice play, I guess, to go. Or did you think it was a sacrifice play, right? I think she did, right?
Before that, I like the fact that, like I said, they address some plot holes just out loud in the movie, which makes them okay. They're doing a lot of stuff like for the first time ever, and
yeah, when she flies,
either Monica or Carol. I think Monica mentioned that in the movie. I'm doing a lot of stuff for the first time.
yeah, that was good.
And then it's fine, no questions asked. And Nick Fury does that a couple of times as well. So I like that part.
Yeah, that was cool. What about you, Helen? Do you think her arc in that was good? How she like gets to the point to make the sacrifice play to then have the end credits? It's the end credit scene, right? Post credit scene, mid credit scene.
I thought her name was meant to be Proton, and I don't know if I've seen that like on a Funko Pop because they like to spoil stuff like that. But I thought that was meant to be her MCU name.
She's had a lot of names. She was the first. No, she was the second Captain Marvel.
Okay.
After Captain Marvel, because Carol Danvers, she's like the 7th or 8th Captain Marvel, I guess. So she was before Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Photon. Sorry.
Photon.
So either Photon or Pulsar Spectrum is all right.
I thought that's what she meant to be. Look, it is quite interesting because what is she going to be? How big is she going to be? I don't really know. And it's funny because I was expecting she was going to get out of that. And I think for me, there was that shock at first. But then I feel like when you then see that mid-credit scene, it kind of makes sense. And I mean, I don't know if we want to dive into that at this point, but it's quite interesting because I'm wondering if where, she's in this sort of parallel dimension, she's been found by the X-Men. Are they going to be the one to really help her harness and understand her powers? And then, of course, we're sitting here going, how does this then come back into the MCU? What does this mean for like Deadpool 3? Like we know Wolverine's going to be there. What I'd love to know as well is I wasn't sure with Maria Rambeau, that suit was not familiar to me. So I wasn't quite sure what X-Men character she is, but it is because that was like there was so much emotion in that mid-credit scene because you're like, oh my God, is she reunited with her mum? Oh my God, no, it's like, Kelsey Grammer Beast, all this stuff. Like I feel like it was one of the most epic mid-credit scenes we've had in a while for a Marvel movie. And I think the potential of it, I think, as I say, I'm already trying to think of what does it mean, but I am sitting here wondering, is there going to be a point where the MCU that sort of Carol and Kamala exist in, is that going to somehow merge with what's happening with now Monica and the X-Men? Is that got something to do with Kang and the timelines? Like the story possibilities are pretty infinite, and hopefully they do something really great with it.
Anything, do you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, so mid-credit scene was awesome, of course. It was kind of the easiest way for them to introduce the X-Men, mutants, because we've been wondering how they would put mutants into the MCU. But obviously it's not going to be in the 616 universe, but in another one, which makes sense with the multiverse. but it's also a lot easier to manage powers because there are so many Omega level mutants that wouldn't mix well with the
It also
powers
explains where they've been, why they
that
haven't
are
been in the
also
616.
yeah, but it's a lot easier to explain how they wouldn't overcome any of the Avengers or anyone else in those universes. So it's a bit of a cop out, a bit easy, but it's also pretty cool because now anything's possible. And I think they will up the power levels and effects like a factor 1,000. So it's going to be insane. I can't wait for that. And I think I don't remember Maria being anyone in the comics, so I'm guessing she's like the other universe's version of Photon or Pulsar or Spectrum.
Binary, they've been saying.
That is a bit weird though, because usually Carol is binary.
Yeah, but you said, yeah, like it could be what they're giving.
Yeah,
that's what people are saying. I would argue that they've already introduced the X-Men in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Professor Xavier. They've already been introduced. So to me, it wasn't a reveal that they were coming because we've already seen that they're here.
Oh yeah, we knew they were coming. We didn't know how they would introduce them. So how they would mix into the with the rest.
Can I just jump in really quickly? Because I thought at the end of Ms. Marvel, because you know, it's Bruno, right? Like her really techie friend. Because does he not do the reveal towards the end of saying to Kamala that she's a mutant?
Yeah, so then I thought that they were going to do mutants in the 616, but now they extract them all out in a different universe. So
maybe she's the beginning of a mutant in the 616. Maybe they'll do both. Maybe they're just starting in 616. Maybe because he did say that. You're right. He did say that in Miss Marvel at the end. I've skipped a couple of chats here. I'm just talking about Photon. We didn't talk about the assembling of the Young Avengers. That was a funny reenactment with Kamala.
Yeah.
I love. She's like, I'm 24 or whatever. I'm 24. That was good.
And I liked how she was acting Nick Fury out.
Yeah, very, very Nick Fury-esque. Francisco says, with mutants being from other universes, what was the point of having Namor saying he was one? It felt random in Wakanda Forever, and it feels more random.
As with Miss Marvel.
I didn't miss that. Maria Rambeau was Captain Marvel in the universe of
Illuminati. Right.
So maybe it's a variant of her. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you, Francisco. I originally thought Maria was Illuminati Captain Marvel, but forgot. They got spaghettied.
Yeah. So she was going to be 1,000 now.
Yeah. Yes, Bruno with the X-Men theme too. Yeah, they had the X-Men theme. That's right. So it would shape up in a way that I would say that they're probably planning on doing a lot more with Monica Rambeau.
Yeah.
By having her come into the X-Men side. So maybe that's how they start to branch it. Will she show up in Deadpool, I wonder? I don't know. I think
like Deadpool showed up in She-Hulk, John.
He definitely was there, Anthony. Helen remembers. You don't need to say anything, Helen, but we know. We know. You don't need to clarify everything. We know that he showed up in, right? And then we have basically the ending where. So is this Carol moving into this house? Right? Was Carol moving into this house?
No, the Khans, because their house was destroyed at the start of the movie. So she's moved them into Maria Rambeau's house in Louisiana. So this is the house we see in the solo movie of Captain Marvel.
Yeah. But they're going to move cities just because their house got destroyed? What the heck? Like, what about their jobs? And no, I thought it was Carol. That's what made me think it was Carol.
I've never seen them do a job,
maybe. Sorry?
I've never seen them do a job. Or maybe the brother did a job on like a moped or something.
I know. Oh man, this whole time I'm thinking, Helen, that Carol moving in now as if she's moving to Earth to live in the house while she's while Monica's gone. Mind games.
No, I thought it was the other people are agreeing. I know, why is Carol now just living on Earth? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I thought it was the Khans because I was like, oh, that's a bit of a culture shock going from New Jersey to Louisiana. But yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they were moving them there because why are they there otherwise? Like Carol, she can fly, man. Why does she need people help her move house?
Yeah. I saw someone talk about seeing names on boxes. When you watch it today, have a look, see if you can see if it's their names or.
Oh yeah, no, it's Carol moving in because they also
it?
show the Prince Jan. They have like this plate of the wedding.
Right.
Oh, okay. So that because that's what I didn't understand. Like the mum going, I don't really like this, but it looks like good quality. I was a bit like, why does she not know where her own stuff is from? But then I thought, had they given her stuff because her stuff's been destroyed at the start of the movie? Okay,
no, I feel
I'm
like
very
it's Carol.
confused.
Yeah, I feel like it's Carol. I feel like it's Carol moving in. You'll have to clarify it today when
we
you
have
see
the
it.
plate of the wedding, so we definitely know it's Carol's boxes.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Often said here, because it doesn't make sense to explain that the whole family would move states because their house got destroyed, like uproot their lives. And if they did, why didn't you explain it anymore? You just casually thrown it in at the end. It would make sense if they were staying there while their house got fixed. Maybe that would make sense. Both can be true. Guess mutants are more advanced in X-Men dimension and just starting in our universe. Yeah, that can be true.
Of course.
Yep. And often saying they were helping Carol move. Okay. Well, do clarify for us later. Those were Carol's things. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a wedding plate.
And Carol says that she's only going to look after the plane until Monica comes back because they go and sit in the plane. Right?
Yeah.
I'll have to rewatch to be sure. Yeah. Okay. Yep. That makes sense.
Just rewatch to have a great time, but.
Yeah, I know what I'm going in there to watch now, and which was good comedic moments.
Man with a mission.
Man with a mission. That's all the images I think I've gone through. I think, yeah. Of course, the one of them all. There was an image that often got of them all fighting her, which I thought looked epic. They were like all coming, like someone was up in the air, someone was midair, and someone was on the ground. So it looked like a cool like a line. It looked sick. Again, because the action sequences were cool. It won't load for me.
It's in the editing room.
It's on the editing floor. Hang on. Bloody Anthony. No, it's not working. Sorry, guys. But that brings us to the end, guys. That's what I want to give some more, I guess, see where we've all landed on this. Let me just.
So the big thing now is that Kamala has both bands now.
Yeah, so what do you think? Like
Monica being over at the Mutant Universe, of course.
And they didn't really explain what Carol's going to do now, moving forward. So I'm wondering where they're leaving that. Now, Helen, I don't know if you've followed any of it, but you see a lot of. I've seen a lot of stuff online of people saying that she doesn't want to do the role anymore and stuff like that. Do you put any weight to any of that? Have you seen anything like that online? Yeah, I mean, she even said, and I've personally seen an interview of her saying to an interviewer saying, "Do you people even want me to be the character anymore?" It seemed like she was a bit pissed off. I don't know if you've ever seen that clip.
I can imagine though.
If you're copping.
Yeah, I mean, people. I think she's been very harshly critiqued, and I think and this is, I'm going to go on a tangent, but this is where I don't understand how some people can separate Ezra Miller's behavior to his character, but then, Brie Larson's this social justice warrior and people can't separate some comments from her character. Like, I don't understand like how they're even in the same universe. But I haven't seen that interview, but for me, what really stood out was the second the strike ended, Brie Larson's Instagram was pumping up this movie. It was, here's some, we're on, I'm on Jimmy Fallon. Like, she seemed to really be out there promoting this from the second that she could. I obviously am a really big fan. And I guess it's interesting because what's coming next? I always think of, she was in the end credit for Shang-Chi, and you had, was it her and Bruce Banner? And that's where I'm like, for me, I feel like that placement means that there is a prominent role for her in the MCU. And again, I'm kind of hopeful that people can give the movie a chance and see how the character's developed, because I think the character has developed quite a bit in this movie. I think we see more of her human side. And, I'm excited to see what comes next. And I guess that's where, from a Kamala and a Carol point of view, the ending kind of allows them to go off in whatever direction that the MCU needs. Whereas, Monica, I think it's kind of a little bit more predefined. But with these two, what comes next could be anything. And I'm excited to see these characters, and I hope we see a lot more of them, whether that's together or individually, because I think they both have a lot to offer.
I wonder what the route will be of whether there'll be another Miss Marvel show, or whether she'll be in something like a Young Avengers next, or like I wonder which way they're going to take her, because Monica's kind of taken care of. She's obviously going to be involved in something to do with X-Men, so that's a pathway for her to go. I wonder what they're going to do with these guys, what they're going to have them do next, because they've kind of left what they're doing up in the air. Carol's back on Earth, which is
not
cool.
Really,
they
because
might.
she went to Kate to round up the Young Avengers, right? So I don't think it's left up in the air what Kamala's going to do.
Oh, sorry, not Kamala.
only-
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I
you're
think only for Captain Marvel, but
Yeah, you're right.
maybe she's going to do Secret Wars.
Yeah. Well, will there be I don't know if there's going to be a Young Avengers before then, like, because that's a tease that would make me think that they're working on something, right? You're teasing a Young Avengers. I don't think you would do that if you. And they also mentioned Cassie Lang, so I don't think they're going to do that unless they're going to
They
try and
mentioned
follow
Cassie
that through.
Lang, and I think in She-Hulk, they brought like Scar.
Right at
Banner's
the
son,
end, yeah.
which is kind of a letdown. Maybe
Yeah,
Iron Lad, Riri.
which we haven't
see.
seen yet.
Yeah.
Which we haven't seen yet. What are we saying here? I thought they would have linked the bangle and the 10 rings.
Yeah, I mean, me too. But maybe they will.
Yeah, maybe they will. Because, I mean, being that she is in the mid-credits of Shang-Chi, and he's got the 10 rings now, because they're talking about the energy source, right? We still don't know what Shang-Chi's energy source is calling to.
Yeah, well, we do know. We don't know if it's... Yeah, I kind of thought that those 10 rings would have been one of the bands, but it didn't.
Yeah,
you're right.
And just to clarify as well, so the villain couldn't handle wearing both bands.
That would be fun.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, but so I kind of went with that because Kamala's mutant, so I thought, okay, I'm fine.
Okay, yeah. I like them seeing when she said she was born for this or whatever. That was hero. Yeah. That was hero shit right there. I was born for this. I was born for this. Doosh. So that was cool. That explained the Bangles connection to Din Clandestines from Miss Marvel. The villain there wanted the 2 bangles, but only found one. Yeah.
Clandestines.
And
Wonder's Kid. Oh,
they kind of yeah, that's right. Wonder's Kid. Apparently, the bangle was on the moon because she finds it right at the start of the film, right? And Wonder's Kid, yep. So Bradley's grandson, yep. There's a few of them. There's a few of them out there. Whether they follow through on all those links, we'll yet to see, I guess. Yeah. Could definitely see them following through. I don't think they'd do Kid Loki. He's in the void, Doug.
Kid Loki.
He's in the void.
There's been a lot of theorizing as to who will be in this young Avengers, and maybe that's the next thing we see Kamala in. Maybe it is
probably
assembling a team. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be interesting to see. I think, there's been a lot of changes and shakeups at Marvel with them slowing down on projects. So whatever it is, it's going to be a while before we see anything. We're only going to get, I think, Echo and Deadpool 3 next year alone. That's it. As far as it is now. That is it for content. So I think Deadpool's in June. Correct me if I'm wrong, often, or if anyone in the chat knows, but I follow this stuff pretty closely. A lot of the reports are Echo's in January.
Deadpool's in June. Plus extra cameos in other series, of course, John.
Yeah, but there is no other things. There's like no shows. I mean, he's already been in She-Hulk, so.
What If is coming out, but that doesn't really feel connected to anything.
Yeah, and that's Christmas, I think, right?
Late December, I think the first episode drops. Yeah,
I do think that they will connect What If to things. It feels like it's not going to be standalone. Don't you think? And I don't know if it's
What's
going
that?
to be in Secret Wars or anything else, but it feels like they're going to connect What If to something else.
Maybe some of the stuff in the first What If kind of connected. If you think about Doctor Strange and things like that,
Yeah.
for 9 days, one episode a day for 9 days for What If.
Oh, okay. They're going to release it that quickly.
Yeah, December 22. Yeah, What If? But that's it, I think, as far as I know. Look, who knows? There's take it with a grain of salt, but there's even reports saying that Kang's done. The director from Shang-Chi 2 has already left the project of Kang Dynasty, and he's focusing on Shang-Chi 2, he said, which he hadn't been focusing on. So that still was going to be forever away. So I think Kang Dynasty could possibly be getting either a new director or whether they'll do it at all. Who knows? There's even a report out there saying that they're moving away from him because of his legal troubles now, because it's gone to court or whatever. I think they are
doing another Johnny Depp.
I think they're going to, but who knows? Correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody in the chat? These are the reports I see. I try not to believe everything I read and wait for multiple sources, but a lot of people are saying that with the director's definitely confirmed. He's left Kang Dynasty. And look, even if it is, they could chop it up to the TVA is looking for Kang variants. Cool, keeping an eye out. And we just don't see any more Kang. I think they're saying they're moving to Doctor Doom now or whatever. So who knows what will come from Shang-Chi 2 or Blade? Ooh, Blade, I would say.
I don't know. Blade was postponed for like a full year or something.
Yeah, Blade's been a nightmare. It's been put as rated R now, though, apparently. So they're going rated R for it.
Yeah, so in the multiverse, anything's possible. They can recast anyone.
Yeah.
Terrence Howard could come back.
Oh my God.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say, aside from Rhodey, superhero films and TV shows really don't like to recast.
And he
it's going to open up
do
the
same line. He should do he should say what Don Cheadle said. They should bring Terrence Howard back as Kang. Remember when Don Cheadle comes in, he goes, "Yes, it's me. I'm here. Get over it." That's what Terrence Howard should say. Is the new Kang? Yes, it's me. I'm here. Get over it. Main as Kang.
Main.
It's me, Main. I'm back.
Or like a scroll turning into the wrong Rhodey. That would be fun as well.
Who knows? Who knows? Good news is Kevin Feige's back in charge, so bring it on. Ed Norton or Terrence Howard. Awesome. All right, so I guess that's it. Do you guys have anything else you want to add in? Like, I think I'm gonna look. I'd bump it up to a 3.75 because a few of the things I was upset about. No, look, I've got to stay true just because I need to rewatch it first. I'm leaving myself open to changing my mind after I rewatch.
Dude, after rewatching,
I just couldn't get out of my head.
And make it like a 4.5.
Okay. Yeah. I just need to get out of my head of what I was thinking. The action was great. The comedy was great. Kamala's amazing. So those were some great fun points from the film for me. Helen, you're going to see it again this afternoon. Are you getting popcorn today? You're going to you got an extra $50 to spend some popcorn and a frozen Coke?
$80.
I don't drink soft drinks, so my mortgage is reprieved from the cost of a frozen Coke. But nice. Man, going to the cinema in Australia, like everything in Australia, is expensive. But no, I can't wait. I'm going to see it again today. I've bought seats in the premium cinema so I can be in the recliner to really enjoy it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I think, like you, it's when you know the story, it's kind of great and it allows you to focus on all those other things. Because what I didn't pick up on was all the little subtle hints about Goose being pregnant, like the throwing up, and when Kamala's mum's like, "Oh, is that okay? It looks a bit pudgy." And on reflection, I was like, "Oh man, I feel like it took me a while to pick up on it," and I felt a bit silly because they did have a movie poster that had Goose and a bunch of flirkins. And until that scene happened, I was like, oh, yeah, like there was that poster with all those flirkins and it hadn't twigged to me that where are all these extra flirkins. So I'm looking forward to watching it and being able to focus a little bit more on those details. So, yeah, I think I'm 4 hours away from seeing it again.
Oh, damn.
I haven't seen those posters, but there's this thing where there's this disease or ailment. I don't know how you'd call it, which is called pica, where you have a craving to eat unedible things, and amongst others, pregnant women have it. You get to eat like sand and clay and glass and stuff like that. So to me, it was funny that the goose was eating other things that he usually ate. So that was like a lead up to the pregnancy.
Yeah, that's so true. I did not catch any of that, but on reflection, it definitely makes sense. Often's gone 5 out of 5 slushies. I do like this line here. It's hard out here for a Kang. It's a classic. It's a classic. Great movie, that one. And we've got a link here for Helen's channel. Make sure you guys hop on over to Helen's channel and follow, subscribe, subscribe, do all the things, watch the videos. Great tips and tricks.
Thanks.
And then you got Anthony's here. Often, you are the man. He's working hard, working tirelessly. Flokins are basically tradies.
No, is it TARDISes from Doctor Who?
Sorry, yeah, I missed that reference. Butcher's gone, hey, I enjoyed the movie. Love some Captain Marvel. 4 out of 5 for me. Yay. Butch coming in. I like that French film. I like the French film. Raw. And then you're in there. Awesome. Anthony, any last words, sir? What's going on your channel at the minute?
Yeah, nothing much. Still filming 2 things at the same time. None of it are perfect. But my inner joke is complete now, so maybe I'll be able to do that as well. And then it's going to be 3 projects at one time. But it's a bit busy, so I don't know.
You're a madman. Multiple. How about I want to see what your thoughts are on the one about collecting that you're doing. Let's see that. Cool. Let's see it. Take a week off work.
So I filmed that already, but I'm going to fill it up with some pictures and maybe like a presentation. I don't know. So I'm just figuring out what I need to fill in that with and how long I want to have it. At the moment, it's like 11 minutes, I think.
Nice. That's a good length. My videos have been about between 10 and 15 minutes lately. I've reduced them quite a bit. It just takes up too much room on my computer and phone, so I had to find a way to be quicker. That's legit. That's my problem. My stuff's all filled up. I have to delete everything. That's a factor. That's definitely a factor. What about you, Helen? What have we got coming up on your channel? Are you working on anything at the moment, or you got any projects going on?
Yeah, I admit I need to be a bit more regular with content. The thing I was thinking of doing next, because I thought my next video would be about this kit bash that I'm doing. So I'm trying to, because of freaking Anthony, I'm trying to make a stealth Yelena. So I have bought a Night Monkey Spider-Man, which I thankfully got super cheap. I've now completely destroyed that figure to take off the outfit. But I need a Yelena because the body of the Spider-Man is just too big, and I'm waiting for the price to drop, which I'm sure it inevitably will. So that project's at a bit of a standstill at the moment. And what I thought I would do next is, because I've done a couple of, I guess, sharing my wisdom, quote unquote, feel free to laugh, from collecting. And I thought I might do a video on, I guess, the things I do when I need to do a bit of a figure cull, like the things that I think of and consider to help me decide which figures stay and go. So I think that might be the next thing that I do.
That's a cool one. That's cool. I love when you guys do those videos because I just don't have the articulation, I feel like, for those types of videos. I love watching your tips and tricks. The ones on kit bashing has helped. If you guys are into kit bashing, you got to check out the kit bash videos. 100%. And your display's looking fire.
Oh, I know. I just need to tackle the garage shelf. I'm thinking that's going to be my, because my work office closes between Christmas and New Year. So I'm hoping that's when I'll finally finish that and get that looking a bit better. And people have asked me to do a video on that, like some Aussies. I don't know if that is something of interest. I'm going to do mine same, slightly different to what Costa's done, because I want them to match my shelves. So I won't be using sort of material and whatnot. I'm going to be using the vinyl that I've got in the other cabinet. So maybe that, but that's, I say it's a while away, but actually it's not, because God, it's mid-November. So 6 weeks, everyone, I'll have it done.
Damn. That'll go quick too. That'll definitely go time. This year's flying by. Anthony thinking, what is a figure goal?
Yeah, literally.
Literally. Anthony's toy store. Yeah. Definitely Anthony's Toy Store. Well, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your thoughts and opinions. Enjoy the movie today. Go and see if you can pick up what's on those boxes. I need to know now. I need to watch it again. What have I got going on the channel? I am currently working on an Iron Man display on the shelf, guys. So I know I've been a little bit quiet. It's been a bit busy at the minute this time of year. We've got like a birthday party every other day. It feels like there's lots of birthdays and things going around this time of year. But that is coming soon. Hopefully by the end of the week, next week, I'll have that done. I've tried to pose up 20 figures across 2 shelves. So a lot of moving. And one thing I've noticed, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, and I'll make it brief, but when you set up a shelf and you see it in person, it looks a certain way. But then when I go to film it, because of the way the camera is and the camera lens, it doesn't look the same on camera from front on as it does visually in person. So I have to set the camera up and then move everything to look what it looks like when I'm actually looking at it in person. Does that make sense? It does my head in.
Yeah.
It does my head in. I'm like, it's not straight on the shelf, but it looks straight on the camera. No, it doesn't work. Anyway, so I've been throwing things against the wall, trying to wrap my head around that for that one. I may even talk about it in the video because it was doing my head in. Trying to capture all these figures together, and I'm like, it looks fantastic on the shelf. Put it on camera, it looks shit. Don't like it. Move everything, rearrange. God damn it.
I find I'm like that with the A-Force because I'm trying to. My biggest challenge is getting Wasp and Rescue sort of flying in the background, and there's times where I think it's looking okay, and then I'm like, oh, take a photo content for Instagram, which I'm so bad at doing at the moment. And then I'm moving them around because I'm like, oh no, from this angle you can't see this as well, but from that angle, or I can see them well, you can't really get the sense of how high up they are. So people who do the figure photography and make stuff look like a scene from a movie, like I take my hat off to you because that is definitely a skill that I do not possess as well.
It is. There's a lot more to it than what I originally thought when I first started trying to take photos. I've learned on the fly as you go. Hey, it's crazy. All the different ways. So yeah, that's something I'm tackling at the minute. But coming soon to the channel, guys. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for being here, you guys, and going through this journey of the Marvels with us. We hope you enjoyed our points of view, and thank you for sharing yours. And if you're just watching or watching the replay, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here. But until next time, guys, I think love to everybody. Have a great weekend. I think we'll call it a day here, guys. Helen, thanks for being here. Anthony, as always.
Thank you for having me.